Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. At the end of the last episode, we poured these two concrete post caps. They had a few holes, which I then filled and just spent a little bit of time kind of cleaning them up a bit. The post caps are going onto these two concrete posts, but first I needed to cut off the reinforcing rebar from the tops of each one. On the tops of the caps are going to be two lamps run from the mains electricity. Before I could place the caps, I needed to make sure that the cables were available to run through the centers of the caps. They have these plastic bags just to protect them from water, so I needed to make sure that the cables were long enough and ready to be used. Once the cables are available, I just wanted to do a continuity test just to make sure that the power from the greenhouse area was available at the caps themselves. And then it was time to start laying on mortar ready for the caps. Once I got a good amount of mortar on, you may notice that I put a couple of blocks just to hold the cap above the mortar for a little while so that I could feed the electric cables through the center of those caps before laying it finally in place. It's one of those situations where you need about 8 hands to try and do several things at once. And then it was finally time to lift the block up on top, feed the cable through, of course, and then lower it down onto the mortar. Then it was just a case of tapping it into place and doing a bit of cleaning up, a bit of pointing before the mortar sets too far. Once this was done, I then placed the second cap on the post, and you may notice that there are a couple of clamps on the top of the post just holding the cables in place. The last thing I needed was for the cables to drop back through the holes. The following morning it was time to fit the brackets that hold the lamps in place. They're held on by two basically masonry screws. So first thing to do was to drill 2 holes to hold the bracket in the right place. And here you see the first bracket in place, ready for the wires to be attached to the lamps. You may notice in the background the first lamp is actually ready. This is the second lamp. I realized that the plastic conduit that I'd put through the middle was a little bit too high, so using a multi-tool I just needed to cut a piece of that away, and then it was time to get ready for joining the cables. And again, it was time to mark out the placement for the attachment bracket and to drill the holes for those. And again, time to just screw on the bracket. A quick check that it's going to be in the right place, and then it's time to start on the actual electrics. So for this, I could have used just kind of clamped electrical connectors, but I was a little bit worried about the reliability of these, so I decided to use both clamped or crimped connectors, and also to solder the pieces together. It seemed to work well on the first lamp, so I just basically continued with that. Once all the soldering was done, I then went back and used some electrical crimped connectors just to give it a little bit of extra strength. And then over the top of that, some shrink wrap tubes, which also protected a little bit from the elements. And finally, it was time to attach the lamp base. This has two small bolts that hold it in place. And then, of course, I just needed to put the bulb in and the glass globe top, and it was done. And here they are all done. The lamps that I put in them are LED flame effect bulbs. I don't want them too bright. They should look okay. When I get a chance, I'll do some filming at night to show you how they look. And on to something different. The two benches that I'm building will need a top surface and a lower shelf surface. So after cutting some plywood to size, I'm just going to glue some pieces together. Unfortunately, the plywood that I have is only 9mm thick, which is a bit thin really for this, so I'm gluing two sheets together. And once all the glue's ready, I'm just piling on some paving bricks. They're pretty heavy, and that can stay outside like this for another week or so until I come back next time. Dash is back to check out the work and see what's happening. Next episode, we'll be working on putting the first of these workbenches together. Come back and see us then. Big thanks to everyone. If you're interested in seeing more, please go ahead and subscribe, comment and like. Do the usual stuff. Thanks again.